right, guys, welcome to Art 3. My name is Corey Spence, as you may call me Miss Spence. I am one of the 3 art teachers here at Green Hill, and this year I teach Art 2, Art 3, and I'll be teaching AP as well. So if you like Art 3 and you consider taking AP, you will have me as your teacher. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over your course syllabus, and this is in Google Classroom, so it should be the first thing that was posted today. Be sure to review this. I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it a little bit and get kind of like the meat of the class in here, but make sure to read through it. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about are your class materials. And I'm going to start with the fact that you guys need a sketchbook. Now, if you have a sketchbook from Art 1 and Art 2 and have plenty of pages, definitely use it. I will say you probably use your sketchbook just as much as you did in Art 1 and Art 3. Art 2, you didn't use it as much, but Art 3, you definitely will. And then, as you guys probably already know, you have a class fee that is $20. Not mandatory, but it does help out a lot. So make sure to pay those. I typically try to send out an email when they send it out around, it's probably September. But anyway, that is that. The next thing I want to talk about are your grades. And this has changed from Art 1 and Art 2. And the big thing is, your projects are now 70% of your grade, and that's a big chunk. And the reason why is because in Art 3, you work much more independently, and it's worth more, and you get a lot more time on your projects. So projects such as your independent studies, because you do that independently. Your first project will be a painting project. And then the next one you guys will do without me will be your non-traditional. So all of those will be 70% of your grade. Consider that when you are working on it. And then the next thing would be your classwork and minor projects. So like your first few things, like your sketchbook studies that you will follow along with the video, that will be considered classwork. So that would be 30% of your grade. Now, if you've had me for Art 1 or Art 2, you guys know how I roll as far as my classroom management and everything goes. However, I do want to remind you of a lot of these things. Come to class on time. You guys know that if you're late, the door is shut, then you go to this tardy station. I don't feel like I need to go in depth there. Make sure you read the board and follow instructions. Now, Art 3, most of the time you already know what you're working on. It's not like Art 1 and Art 2 where I have like a bell ringer or a daily drawing. I will possibly have what project you guys are working on, but that's pretty much it. Now, you guys will have a video to start off class on some days, especially if you're starting a new project or if you're doing a peer review. But for the most part, just make sure you look at the board when you come in. Gather materials and then find your seat. You guys know studio time is your time. However, use that time wisely because I grade it. If you're sitting there on your phone the whole time, not a good grade for you, okay? So don't do that. Make sure to ask your teacher questions, and then, at the end of class, make sure to clean up. I'm going to go over that in the room tour, but your Art 3, you should definitely know how to clean up your materials by now. Anyway, stay seated. Do not line up at the door like we're in elementary school. When you leave or before class is over, stay in your seat and just wait until the bell rings. And then take work home. I'm going to just say take work home. You are in Art 3. This is an honors art course. You are not expected to get all of your artwork done in class. So take it home, especially if you want a good grade. I would advise it. All right, expectations. These are kind of cheesy, I'm not going to lie, but they work. Respect yourself, your classmates, and your environment. Raise your hand if you have a question, do not shout it across the room. Your confidence and your expectations. And then, of course, follow class procedures, directions, and school policies, which you guys already know. How do I click through here? There we go. You already know the absence policy or tardy policy at school. Anyway, as far as absences go, you are responsible to come to me or your teacher to know what you've missed. For Art 3, it's a little bit easier because you're working on projects for a long period of time. So most of the time when you miss, you're missing a studio day. But in this case, it's kind of weird because I'm not here. So if you miss something, just make sure to check Google Classroom because I've most likely posted a video for that day. So make sure to check that. Assignments and late assignments. Okay. I do not take off for late work, but I do not take it after a week that it was due. So if you turn something in on Friday, that following Friday would be the last day I would accept it. So do not come to me 2 weeks later and be like, hey, Ms. Spence, here's this project that I have from 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to take it. So just so you know, I do not take off for late work until you've hit that 1 week. If that becomes an issue, just let me know. Be like, hey, Ms. Spence, I missed 3 days. And then we can establish a new due date. Same with your teacher. So that's late work and assignments. Turning in assignments. What did I have written down here? Oh, okay. That's kind of like a reiteration of Art 1, so I'm not even going to read that. Resources. You will use Google Classroom for pretty much everything at the beginning of the year. Parent Square, if I need to reach out to you, or I'll email as well. And then, of course, Skyward. Restroom. Go to the restroom before class. You have 7 minutes. Use that time wisely. No one is allowed to leave the first and last 10 minutes of class. You guys already know this. And only one student goes to the restroom at a time. I don't do the whole boy-girl thing. It just makes it easier if there's one person going. Follow me, honey. When you go to the restroom, make sure to take a hall pass, okay? Pretty simple. I used to do the sign-out sheet. I'm going to see if they reinforce it again next year, but the hall pass is totally fine. Just make sure to hang it back up once you're done. Okay, and then lastly is the cell phone policy, do's and don'ts. You're more than welcome to be on your cell phone during studio time if you need to listen to music or a podcast. Totally fine. Just don't sit on Netflix and try to watch a movie and multitask. If I see that it becomes an issue and you're on your phone the whole time, I'll just take it up, and then you just have to give it to me at the beginning of each day. But anyway, that is it. That is the syllabus. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or just refer to the syllabus. And that's it. Goodbye, Art 3.
See you in the fall.
Oh, see you in the fall.